Yugi and Joey versus the Big Five. What happens when 5 businessmen are all inside Tristan Taylor at the same time? You get the Big Five working together against Yugi and Joey in a 2v1 duel. That's so bad. Spoilers, our heroes triumph over the Big Five's 5,000 attack, 5-headed dragon through the power of teamwork. But that made me wonder, with how insanely broken some of the Big Five's deckmaster abilities are, could they really not have won this duel? With any alternative plays, could the outcome of the duel have been different? We won't know unless we jump into the duel. The duel is structured as a 2v1. Yugi and Joey have their own hand, field, life points, and deck masters. The Big Five share the same hand, field, and life points, but they get 8,000 since they're at a disadvantage. As well, they can switch their deck masters at the start of each of their turns. We'll go through each of the deck masters and what they can do as they appear, and I'll even give them a 5-star rating on how powerful or how weak I think they are. So, the duel begins and the Big Five goes first. Ganley takes control first. His deckmaster is Deep Sea Warrior. Its deckmaster ability is when a monster you control is attacked, you contribute 2 monsters to negate the attack and inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attacking monster's attack. I rate this deckmaster 2 stars out of 5. Yes, you could build a deck around it and you could actually do quite well with it, and you can do a lot of damage redirecting attacks. Essentially, you always have a magic cylinder on the field, but because you have to tribute 2 monsters that are on the field as well, that's a big amount of resources to give, so 2 stars is the absolute max I can give this. Ganley draws. His opening hand consists of a legendary fisherman, a legendary ocean, monster reborn, premature burial, polymerization, and driving snow. Ganley starts by activating his field spell, a legendary ocean. This card has the effect that it's always treated as Yumi. While on the field, water monsters in hand are 1 level less. Water monsters on the field gain 200 attack and defense. Since the legendary fisherman is treated as a level 4 monster, he summons it straight to the field without a cost. Due to its effect while it is on the field alongside Umi, it is unaffected by spell effects and cannot be targeted for an attack. But that does not prevent the opponent from attacking directly. This unfortunately also means Legendary Fisherman can't get the benefits of the field spell since it's immune to spell effects, so it can't gain 200 attack from the field spell. Crazy. Ganley ends his turn here. Should he have set that driving snow face down here? No. This card requires another trap card on the field to be blown up while this card is on the field. They don't have another one, plus this is would have got blown up later if it was on the field, so it's not a big deal. Not setting this face down is fine. It's Joey's turn. His deckmaster is the Flame Swordsman. Its deckmaster ability is it can reduce its own attack by any amount to increase the attack of another warrior monster on the field by the same amount. Now, I'm actually going to give the Flame Swordsman deckmaster ability 3 out of 5 stars because I actually think it's quite practical, and especially because, well, having strong monsters on the field is quite beneficial in early Yu-Gi-Oh, but also because you can make a 1300 attack point monster 4000 attack as long as it's a warrior type monster, and if that monster manages to attack directly, you've instantly won the duel. Not in this one, obviously, because they've got 8,000 life points, but that's pretty good, and you can put this on a few different monsters. The biggest hindrance to stop it from going any higher is that you're hard limited at 1700 attack because this monster can't go below 100 attack points. And as well, you can only use this monster's effect as much of the attack points as that it has. I guess if you could boost its attack, you could probably use it a little bit more, but that's troublesome to do if it's in the deck master zone. And the fact that its ability is free to use as well, doesn't cost anything else, it's first star, I think it's okay. Joey draws. His opening hand consists of Alligator Sword, Fairy Box, Burning Soul Sword, Polymerization, Double Snare, and Cyber Harpy. Unable to attack on the first turn, Joey summons his Alligator Sword into defense. He then ends his turn. Should Joey have set his Fairy Box face down, which is a spell card in the anime, and then the way spell cards work in this season is you can set them face down, they become quick effects during the opponent's turn, so you can use it to defend yourself with it. Should he have done that? Yeah, he should have really. The way it works in the anime is that when it's activated, all attack position monsters Joey controls are unable to be attacked for a whole turn. This might have saved him from a future pickle. It's Yugi's turn. His deckmaster is Dark Magician. Its deckmaster ability is it can pay 1000 life points to apply the effect of a spell card he previously used. Now, Yugi's Deckmaster, I actually think is really good. I'm going to give this one 4 stars out of 5 because, think of it this way. I activate Pot of Greed, pay 1,000 life points, activate Pot of Greed again. I activate Monster Reborn, pay 1,000 life points, I activate Monster Reborn again. I activate Regeki. I didn't wipe everything. I use this again, Regeki again. It's really versatile. I feel there's a lot of different things you can do with this. Something like, I don't know, like a limit removal and then limit removal again, or something that doubles attack. You can do some crazy stuff with this. So I actually think it's quite good. Yeah, I like it. Yugi draws. His opening hand consists of Gazelle, the King of Mythical Beasts, Buster Blader, Alpha the Magnet Warrior, Blackluster Soldier, Card Destruction, and Kuribo. Yugi, unable to attack on the first turn, summons his Gazelle into defense and ends his turn. It's back to the big 5. Crump takes over the duel. His Deckmaster is Nightmare Penguin. Its Deckmaster ability is water monsters on the field gain 200 attack points. I'm not a huge fan of this one. 1 star out of 5, maybe 2 if I was really pushing it. I feel like I'm just going to give it a 1 though. Like 200 attack, that's it. That's not really going to do very much. The best thing I can say about this card is that it's just a generic effect that just happens. Like, you don't have to pay anything, you don't have to worry about it or anything, but you have to build your deck around it, and even then, it's not doing a fat ton, so I just don't like it very much, unfortunately. Crump draws and gets Catapult Turtle. Legendary Fisherman's attack points increase due to Nightmare Penguin's Deckmaster ability. Crump moves straight into his battle phase and uses the Legendary Fisherman to attack and destroy Gazelle. Crump moves into his main phase 2 and summons Catapult Turtle into defense. He's able to do this since it was treated as a level 4 monster in the hand. Catapult Turtle gains 400 attack and 200 defense thanks to the field spell and Nightmare Penguin. And here on the big 5's second turn, they've thrown the duel already. This is going to be a running theme throughout this entire duel. All they needed to do to win was stop using crap Deckmaster abilities. If they would have used the good characters, they could have won this turn. Instead of Crump, sub Johnson in. Activate his Judgeman Deckmaster ability. Pay 1,000 life points, destroy all monsters the opponent controls, and then deal 500 damage for each one of their monsters destroyed. Gazelle and Alligator Sword are destroyed. Yugi and Joey take 500 damage each, and have no monsters on their fields and no spell and trap cards in their back row. Normal summon Catapult Turtle into attack. Use its effect, tribute Legendary Fisherman to deal 925 damage to Yugi. Activate Premature Burial, bring back Legendary Fisherman, use Catapult Turtle's effect again, dealing another 925 damage to Yugi. Activate Monster Reborn, bring back Legendary Fisherman. Enter the battle phase, attack Yugi directly with Legendary Fisherman, attempting to go for game. Yugi discards his Kuribo to negate the damage. Attack directly with Catapult Turtle next. Yugi realizes if this attack goes through, his life points will be so low that he will lose to Catapult Turtle's effect when Johnson moves into his main phase 2. So, Yugi is forced to Deckmaster summon his Dark Magician to the field to defend himself. A replay occurs. Johnson instead chooses to attack Joey directly with Catapult Turtle. Johnson ends his turn. We then move to Joey's turn and he draws. He summons his Cyber Harpy Lady to the field, but Johnson uses the quick effect of his Deckmaster, pays 1,000 life points to destroy Yugi and Joey's monsters. Fairy Box only prevents battle destruction, so it wouldn't be able to save his monster. Cyber Harpy Lady and Dark Magician are destroyed. Joey takes 500 damage, however, since Yugi's Deckmaster was destroyed, Yugi is eliminated. Joey, unable to summon any more monsters to the field, is forced to end his turn here by setting Kunai with Chain face down. Seeing that Joey has set a card on the field, Lecter subs in with his Jinzo Deckmaster next. Now, Joey can't use his set trap. Lecter enters the battle phase, attacks with Legendary Fisherman. Joey has no choice but to summon his Deckmaster to defend, but Legendary Fisherman is stronger and so destroys it. Since Joey's Deckmaster is destroyed, Joey also loses the duel. Note they also could have won that turn by Lecter bringing Jinzo to the field so we could have more attacks on the field, or Lecter could use Catapult Turtle to tribute the monster to destroy the rest of Joey's life points. The point of the matter is, there are so many different ways for them to win. It's crazy. Like, I understand that the big 5 aren't duelists first. They're businessmen. But nuts. They've been trapped in this virtual world for so long, you feel like they'd learn every in and out of the Deckmaster game strategy, which I assume they invented or Noah did, whatever, and they have loads of time to practice. And they picked themselves, a couple of them have some absolutely insanely broken Deckmaster abilities. They should be nerfed, and they still can't win. It's crazy. I'm gonna repeat myself a lot in this video, so get ready. Huge misplay, Big Five. Huge misplay. You literally could have absorbed all 5 of their bodies right now, gone into the real world and formed your own company like Konami or something like that, and you could be running Yu-Gi-Oh right now in the real world. How embarrassing. Getting back to what really happens in the duel, it's Joey's turn, and he draws Kunai with Chain. He sets it face down and then summons Cyber Harpy, which he added to his deck as a homage to Mai. He switches his Alligator Sword into attack. Unable to attack over either of Crump's monsters, he ends his turn. It's Yugi's turn, and he draws Mystical Elf. He summons it into defense and then ends his turn. It's back to the Big Five. Since Crump is doing so well, he stays in control for another turn. He draws and gets Magician of Faith. Crump moves straight into his battle phase and uses the Legendary Fisherman to attack Mystical Elf. Joey in response uses his set Kunai with Chain, which equips itself to an opponent's monster and then switches it into defense. It then increases the attack of one of his monsters by 500. Legendary Fisherman is switched to defense. Alligator Sword's attack increases to 2000. With no more plays, Crump sets his Magician of Faith face down and ends his turn. I'm not going to beat a dead horse here, but if Johnson took over, he could have wiped all the monsters off the field, could have avoided all this. If Lecter had taken over the field, Jinzo would have been on the field, then the trap cards wouldn't have worked. Just saying. It's Joey's turn, and he draws another of Mai's cards, Harpy's Feather Duster. He activates it immediately. This card destroys all spells and traps the opponent controls. Legendary Ocean is destroyed. Catapult Turtle loses 200 attack and defense. Joey enters his battle phase and destroys the Legendary Fisherman with Cyber Harpy Lady. Alligator Sword then attacks the set Magician of Faith. It's destroyed, however, its flip effect activates, which allows Crump to add a spell in his grave back to his hand. He adds back a Legendary Ocean. Joey ends his turn. It's Yugi's turn, and he draws a mysterious card. This card is going to be discarded in a few more seconds, so it doesn't really matter what it is. It never gets used or mentioned for the rest of this duel. I'm just going to say Baphomet. Why not? Knowing that Crump will utilize Legendary Ocean in his hand on the next turn, Yugi summons his Karibo into defense and then activates his card Destruction. This forces all players to discard their entire hands and then redraw the same amount they discarded. Yugi discards 4 cards. He draws and gets Blackluster Ritual, Mirror Force, Polymerization, and Des Volskalf. Joey discards 4 cards. He draws and gets Block Attack, Knight's Title, Drop Off, and Gamble. Crump discards 5 cards. He draws and gets Machine King, Altar of Mist, Revenge Sacrifice, Injection Fairy Lily, and a deal with Dark Ruler. Yugi ends his turn. Now, would it have been worth Yugi setting that Mirror Force face down? Well, it depends. If Lecter comes to the field on the next turn, then trap cards don't work, so this card's kind of pointless. But if he doesn't, which he's not going to, then yes, this card would have helped. It's 50-50. He probably should have set it face down here, so it's back to the Big Five. And Johnson takes over the duel. His Deckmaster is Judgeman. Its crazy Deckmaster ability is, during either player's turn, quick effect, pay 1000 life points, banish all monsters the opponent controls, and then deal 500 damage for each of their monsters banished. This Deckmaster ability isn't a 5 out of 5 star Deckmaster ability. It's 6 out of 5 stars. This is a tier 0 Yu-Gi-Oh card that needs to be nerfed in the Deckmaster format. Why? Because it's so broken. Like, think about it for a second. Your opponent goes first. He summons some monsters to the field. You use your ability of your Deckmaster, wipe their field, do 1000 damage. Say they summon 2 monsters. Back to you. Summon monsters, attack them directly. Back to them. They summon monsters to try and establish a board again. Just quick effect, wipe all their monsters again for 1000 life points. You do another 1000 burn damage. Back to you, you attack for game. Like, it's crazy. And I'm also kind of assuming that this quick effect can only be used once per turn as well. So you can't, like, use it. The opponent builds a board again, and then you can use it again in the same turn. There's no reason why I think you can't do this, but I assume it's just a once per turn. But the fact that it wipes everything, it costs nothing. It's 1000 life point cost, and it does burn damage on top of it. It's nuts. I honestly think if Johnson was Yugi tier duelist, he could beat everyone in the in this season. I'm pretty sure he could have. I might actually try and do a video on that. Like, yeah, I'm kind of curious. Optimal play Deckmaster, how would it work? Noah Kaiba, if you want some notes on how to nerf this card, I made notes. So Judgman's Deckmaster ability, it needs to be nerfed. Get rid of the quick effect, so it has to be activated during your turn when there's nothing going on. Make it destroy all monsters on the field, not just the opponent, so you're susceptible for your monsters being destroyed as well. That means you're also at risk of taking damage from this monster's effect. That way, the judgment is fair because he's a judge after all. It does make sense because he's a corrupt judge, but still. And as an added bonus as well, I think it should cost 2,000 life points. I think that's fair. Anyway, Johnson draws and gets Hysteric Angel. He activates his Deckmaster ability immediately. He pays 1,000 life points to banish all monsters the opponent controls. Yugi's Karibo and Mystical Elf are banished. Joey's Alligator Sword and Cyber Harpy Lady are also banished. Yugi and Joey each take 1,000 damage since 2 of each of their monsters were banished. Johnson summons his Hysteric Angel to the field. He enters his battle phase and attacks Joey directly. He moves into his main phase 2 and activates Catapult Turtle's effect. He tributes Hysteric Angel to inflict half the tributed monster's attack as damage to the opponent. He chooses Joey. Joey takes 900 damage. Johnson sets his Revenge Sacrifice face down and then activates his Altar of the Mist spell. Altar of the Mist, when activated, remains on the field for 3 turns. It cannot be destroyed by card effects. During the owner's 3rd standby phase, this card sends itself to the grave. Add 1 ritual spell from your deck straight to your hand. Johnson ends his turn. Small but kind of big thing, Catapult Turtle's effect, if it works the same way it does in the real world, which I kind of assume I guess it probably doesn't, but it should be able to tribute itself to deal damage. He could have tributed it to deal damage to Joey and gone for game here, but the way Catapult Turtle works in the anime is the monsters get loaded onto its back and then shot out, so I guess it can't shoot itself out, so I guess it probably doesn't work like that. And maybe I'm being a little bit too harsh on Johnson here because, yeah, I guess if he tributed his monster, he loses a 2200 defense monster and gets just absolutely blasted by all the opponents. So yeah, I guess I was being a little bit harsh. No, I wasn't, because he's got that insanely powerful Deckmaster, tribute a monster, eliminate Joey. It's absolutely fine. You go to Yugi's turn. He can summon whatever the hell he wants to summon. You just use the quick effect of your Deckmaster, wipe whatever Yugi has on the field. He can't get anything. You go back to your turn. You attack the game. Obviously, he's got Mirror Force, but you get Jinzo out at that point. Ridiculous. And alternatively, he could have also switched his Catapult Turtle into attack and attempted to attack Joey directly to go for game. Joey would be forced to bring out his Deckmaster. Then all Johnson would have to do, a replay occurs, cancel the attack, because you're allowed to do that since more monsters have entered the field. Then you just wait until the next opportunity to use your Deckmaster ability to destroy the Flame Swordsman now on the field. It's destroyed and you've eliminated somebody else. I honestly don't think they appreciate how powerful Judgman is. It's Joey's turn, and he draws Rocket Warrior. He summons it to the field. Joey activates his Deckmaster's ability, transferring 1,000 of Flame Swordsman's attack to Rocket Warrior. Joey enters his battle phase and uses Rocket Warrior to attack and destroy Catapult Turtle. The play is successful, however Johnson activates his Revenge Sacrifice in response. Since a monster he controls was destroyed by a battle, he can tribute that monster that attacked and then special summon a monster in his hand. Rocket Warrior is tributed. He summons Machine King to the field. Due to its effect, it gains 100 attack for each machine monster on the field. Since there is only one, it gains 100 attack. Joey ends his turn. I just don't understand it. I really don't understand it. He could use his Deckmaster ability right here, blow up Rocket Warrior, and that's 500 damage. Why didn't he do it? Now at this point, you're probably saying, wait, Judgman's Deckmaster ability, are you sure it's a quick effect that you can use during the opponent's turn? I feel like you've made that up. That seems like something in the modern day. Like, where's the evidence? He did it! He did it against Joey! In his duel against Joey, he kept doing it during Joey's turn. So it can be used during either turn. It's crazy. This is the most frustrating duel I've ever seen in my entire life. People are just ignoring these broken abilities. Why aren't they doing it? It's fine. It's fine. It's Yugi's turn, and he draws the Rock Spirit. Yugi banishes an Earth-type monster in his grave, Buster Blader, in order to pay the cost to special summon Rock Spirit. He then tributes it to summon his Des Volskalf. Am I saying that right? I hope so. Yugi sets his Mirror Force face down and then ends his turn. It's back to the big five. And now Nesbit takes over. Nesbit! Ow! Just leave Johnson on the field! His Deckmaster is Robotic Knight. Its Deckmaster ability is during either player's turn, you can discard any number of machine-type monsters to inflict 500 damage to the opponent for each. In theory, this could be a decent ability in a 4,000 life point meta. If you discard enough machine-type monsters, you could win very, very fast. But you kind of need to build your deck around it. Discarding so many machine-type monsters as well is such a huge resource loss as well. This is a costly ability to use, especially when you can just pay 1,000 life points to deal the same amount of damage. Doesn't matter. I'm sorry, I get ahead of myself. I'm going to give this 2 out of 5 stars. I think in this duel, it is not very good. And I think even in its own deck, it's not a great ability to have. It's all right. It's just, I think 2 out of 5 stars from me. Nesbit draws and gets Heavy Storm. He activates it immediately to destroy all spells and traps on the field. Yugi's Mirror Force is destroyed. However, unbeknownst to Nesbit, since a spell card has been activated, Des Volgaf's attack has been increased by 200 thanks to its effect. Nesbit moves into his battle phase and attacks Des Volgaf with Machine King. Embarrassingly, Machine King is destroyed since it was weaker. Due to Des Volgaf's second effect, since it destroyed a monster by battle, it deals 500 burn damage to the big five. Nesbit shamefully ends his turn. As he does, Des Volgaf's attack returns to normal. Everything about this turn is just really embarrassing when you look at it. And it's ironic because Nesbit was the only one to actually beat someone. Embarrassing thing number 1. There's a set card on the field. It's obviously a trap. Get Lecter involved in the duel. Your Deckmaster ability isn't doing anything this turn anyway, so why not get someone that could benefit you? That way, you also don't have to waste Heavy Storm, which would have helped a lot more later because they would have been able to use it on their final turn of the duel to destroy 3 set cards that Joey has. But no, just waste it here when you have a Jinzo on hand, sure. Or alternatively, keep Johnson in play. Use his Deckmaster ability to destroy Volskalf, deal 500 damage to Yugi. Use Heavy Storm, and then attack either Yugi or Joey directly. They're going to have to defend with their Deckmaster, but then they lose on their next turn when Johnson uses his Deckmaster ability again. Second huge mistake. Did you miss it? Maybe you did, but Joey Wheeler is sitting there with no monsters and no spell and traps on the field. Attack him! And then he gets eliminated. To be fair, this is explained away in the episode. It's explained by how Nesbit got tunnel vision wanting to deal with Yugi's set card and then punish him. But that actually does bring up a good point. I think I talked about it in the Yugi and Kaiba versus Loomis and Umbra duel. So obviously, if your teammate's about to be attacked, you can throw your monster in the way of the attack to tank that attack. This always happens with weaker monsters tanking bigger monsters' attack. They always get blown up or something like that. We've never had an example of a stronger monster throwing itself in front of a teammate to defend. So that makes me think if they would have attacked Joey, Yugi could have sent his Volskalf in front of Joey, and then the Volskalf would have took the attack and it would have still destroyed Machine King regardless. So I guess it's not a mistake. They play it off in the episode like it was a mistake, but I wonder if it was just like an anime-ism kind of thing. Regardless of all this, there should be only 2 people involved in the Big Five's duels. That's Lecter and Johnson. Regardless, it's Joey's turn, and he draws Panther Warrior. Unable to go on the attack due to Panther Warrior requiring a tribute to attack, he summons it into defense and then sets his drop-off trap face down and ends his turn. It's Yugi's turn, and he draws Big Shield Gardener. Yugi moves into his battle phase and uses Des Volgaf to attack Nesbit directly. Yugi moves into his main phase too and then summons Big Shield Gardener into defense. Yugi ends his turn. Why won't people use their Deckmasters? We're in a Deckmaster format. Let's go back to Joey's turn. Deckmaster summon Flame Swordsman. Attack directly. Yugi's turn. Deckmaster summon Dark Magician. Volskalf attack directly. Dark Magician attempt to attack directly next. This would be game, so Nesbit is forced to summon his Robotic Knight to the field. However, it's got 1800 defense as its max stat. Destroy it with Dark Magician, and that should be game. This is something else I do wonder. In this Deckmaster duel, because the big five have 5 Deckmasters, do you think that they would have tried to cheat and be like, just because you've destroyed one of our Deckmasters, we don't actually lose. You have to destroy all 5 in order for us to be defeated. I could see them doing something like that, and if it was mentioned in the episode, that would actually be a great defense why Yugi and Joey don't go more offensively, because yeah, then they would be susceptible to having their monsters attacked by bringing theirs out kind of thing. So I guess it's fine, and then that way it makes sense why obviously 5-headed dragon is a combination of all 5 Deckmasters. It's destroyed, so obviously they lose later. So still, that's just me defending the anime. It's back to the big 5. After that horrific last turn by Nesbit, Lecter finally takes over the duel. He's going to take over now for the rest of the duel until the big 5 basically merge, but Lecter should be more involved before, and Johnson also would be better off being in play now as well, but we'll talk about it in a second. Lecter's Deckmaster is Jinzo. Its Deckmaster ability is it negates all trap effects the opponent controls and destroys them. This is, of course, a 5 out of 5-star Deckmaster ability. Basically, with this card, you are shutting off 1/3 of the entire game's mechanics from your opponent being able to use. And even better, you aren't like hindered by this. This doesn't stop you from using traps, just the opponent. This should be sitting on the field all the time. It's a passive, it doesn't cost anything. It's crazy good. Crazy good. Lecter draws and gets Pot of Greed. Joey in response activates his drop-off trap, which forces the opponent to discard a card they drew for their draw phase. Unfortunately, a bit of anime shenanigans happens here where the Deckmaster comes out after the draw phase, even though it's come out before the draw phase every single time, meaning Joey wasn't aware Jinzo was the Deckmaster. And so Jinzo negates the effect of drop-off and destroys it. Lecter activates Pot of Greed. This allows him to draw 2 new cards. He gets Gravity Bind and Sebek's Blessing. Since a spell card was activated, Des Volscaf's attack increases. Lecter summons his Injection Fairy Lily to the field. He uses it to attack Yugi's Des Volscaf. As it attacks, its effect activates during the damage step. By paying 2,000 life points, he can increase its attack by 3,000 during that damage step only. Des Volscaf is destroyed. Injection Fairy Lily's attack returns to normal after the battle. Lecter activates his Sebek's Blessing to increase his life points by the battle damage he inflicted from a monster's attack. Lecter sets his Gravity Bind trap face down and ends his turn. It's Joey's turn, and he draws Jinzo. Lecter immediately activates his Gravity Bind. Now, level 4 or higher monsters can't attack while this card remains on the field. This is fine for Lecter, as Injection Fairy Lily is a level 3, and his own Jinzo doesn't negate his trap effects. However, Joey tributes his Panther Warrior to summon his own Jinzo. Now, while Jinzo is on the field, any trap card activated is negated and then destroyed. As well, on summon, it destroys all trap cards on the opponent's field. Gravity Bind is destroyed. Joey activates his block attack next to switch Injection Fairy Lily into defense. He enters his battle phase and attacks and destroys Injection Fairy Lily. Joey ends his turn. It's Yugi's turn, and he draws Dark Magician Girl. He tributes Big Shield Gardener to summon it. He enters his battle phase and attacks Lecter directly. Yugi ends his turn. For the millionth time, Deckmasters are a thing in this duel, guys. Why don't you use them? Deckmaster summon Dark Magician here, attack for gain. Lecter can summon out his Jinzo, it's too weak, Dark Magician can destroy it. Yugi and Joey win the duel. It's back to Lecter, and he draws 5-headed dragon. The standby phase occurs and Altar of the Mist's effect activates since it's 3 turns later. It sends itself to the grave to add the ritual spell, Dragon Revival Ritual, from their deck straight to their hand. Lecter activates Dragon Revival Ritual. This card is used to ritual summon 5-headed dragon, but you must tribute a dark, earth, fire, water, and wind monster from your field or hand within 5 turns. The big 5 Deckmaster summon all 5 of their Deckmasters to the field and then tribute all 5 of them from the field. Robotic Knight, Fire Attribute, Jinzo, Dark Attribute, Judgeman, Earth Attribute, Deep Sea Warrior, Water Attribute, and Nightmare Penguin, Wind Attribute. Nightmare Penguin being wind actually kind of surprised me. I thought they'd made a mistake and had 2 water monsters, but I guess since it's a bird, it's wind. Kind of makes sense, it's just weird to increase the attack of all water monsters. 5-headed dragon is summoned to the field. Due to Deckmaster mechanics, since Five-Headed Dragon is a merger/transformation of their original Deckmaster, it becomes the new Deckmaster. Five-Headed Dragon's ability is, when this card is ritual summoned, destroy all cards your opponent controls. This card cannot attack the turn it is ritual summoned. As well, this card cannot be destroyed by battle with Dark, Earth, Water, Fire, or Wind monsters. Five-Headed Dragon destroys all cards on Yugi and Joey's fields. Jinzo and Dark Magician Girl are destroyed. Unable to attack on the turn it's summoned, the Big Five end their turn by setting a Deal with Dark Ruler face down. Now I assume that the Big Five summoning all 5 of their Deckmasters to the field so that they contribute them all to summon their new Deckmaster, that has to be like just an anime thing that they did, just like, oh, it's cool to get them all on the field so they contribute them all at the same time, because otherwise, was that in our pocket the whole time? Have I been freaking out this entire duel? When you have the ability to summon all 5 of your Deckmasters to the field at any time or moment, with all 5 of those Deckmaster abilities being live at the same time? There's no way. There's no way, no. There's no way. But I'll just throw out there really quickly. If Johnson would have come to the field this turn, because there's no spells or traps in the back row or anything, so we don't need to keep Lecter out with Jinzo this time. We could have used Johnson's Judge Man's Deckmaster ability here to blow up those 2 monsters. Instead, there's 500 damage to Joey. Joey doesn't have 500 life points. He loses the duel instantly here. Yugi takes 500 damage. And then after that, we can summon the Five-Headed Dragon, because we need to get over Dark Magician. We can't attack for game with our Deckmaster that way. I think this duel's going to turn me insane. I really do. It's Joey's turn, and he draws Silver Dollar. Joey sets his Knight's title, Silver Dollar, and Gamble Trap face down, and then Deckmaster summons his Flame Swordsman to the field. Joey ends his turn. It's Yugi's turn, and he draws Magical Hats. Yugi Deckmaster summons his Dark Magician to the field. Yugi activates Polymerization, fusing his Deckmaster, Dark Magician, with Joey's Deckmaster, Flame Swordsman, to make Dark Flare Knight. It becomes the new Deckmaster for both Yugi and Joey. Its effect is it can attack during the turn it is fusion summoned, since remember fusion sickness is a thing during Battle City and the Virtual World arc. You take no battle damage from battles involving this monster. When this card is destroyed by a battle and sent to the grave, special summon a Mirage Knight from your hand or deck. Yugi moves into his battle phase and attacks Five-Headed Dragon. Mirage Knight is destroyed, but no damage is dealt. Yugi and Joey don't automatically lose due to their Deckmaster being destroyed, because it floats into a new monster, making that monster the new Deckmaster. Mirage Knight is summoned to the field. Its effect is if it battles, it gains attack equal to the attack of the monster it's battling. At the end of the battle phase, if this card attacked or was attacked, banish this card, then summon its fusion materials from the grave. And so, Mirage Knight attacks Five-Headed Dragon. It gains attack equal to Five-Headed Dragons. Since Mirage Knight is a light type monster, Five-Headed Dragon is destroyed in the battle. However, before damage can be dealt, the Big Five activate their set trap, a Deal with Dark Ruler. Its effect is since a level 8 or higher monster was destroyed, they can pay half their life points, they take no battle damage from that battle, and then Berserk Dragon is summoned to the field from the deck. The Big Five's life points are cut in half, and Berserk Dragon is summoned to the field. Since it's kind of a transformed Deckmaster, Berserk Dragon becomes the new Deckmaster. The only reason I'm a bit funny about this one is because like everything else was like, oh, this monster became something new, or this monster was fused with something new. And even with Mirage Knight, the monster that was the Deckmaster's ability created the new monster. This one, a completely separate trap was like, oh, that got destroyed. That could have been anything, by the way. This trap just summons this completely different monster. So it's like, I don't know. I think their Deckmaster's technically gone, but sure, okay. Berserk Dragon's effect is it can attack up to 4 monsters simultaneously, but during each of its owner's end phases, it loses 500 attack. Following the battle, Mirage Knight banishes itself and resummons Dark Magician and Flame Swordsman to their respective owners' fields. Yugi activates his magical hats to hide Dark Magician under one of the 4 hats. He then uses Dark Magician's Deckmaster ability. By paying 1,000 life points, he reactivates the last spell he used. He uses magical hats again, but this time on Joey's Flame Swordsman. There are now 8 hats on the field with 2 monsters inside. Yugi ends his turn. It's the Big Five's turn, and they draw Spring of Rebirth. The Big Five move straight into their battle phase and order Berserk Dragon to use all 4 of its attacks on all 4 of their magical hats on Yugi's side of the field. This play makes absolute sense on paper. Yes, attacking one person guarantees that you destroy their Deckmaster. So that's good. Choosing Yugi over Joey as well, in theory makes sense. Yugi's the one that's been making all the big plays this duel, so it's like, yeah, let's get rid of him. So nothing about what they do is wrong, but it's going to cost them. Since Dark Magician is about to be attacked, Joey throws his Flame Swordsman in the way of the attack. He then activates his set trap, Silver Dollar. This card can only be activated when the opponent attacks a monster with 1000 or less attack. The monster cannot be destroyed by this battle, and you take no battle damage from that battle. Berserk Dragon's final attack hits Flame Swordsman. Since Flame Swordsman has below 1000 attack, it is not destroyed and no battle damage is dealt. The Big Five ends their turn. As they do, Berserk Dragon loses 500 attack points. It's Joey's turn, and the penultimate turn of the duel. He draws and gets a mysterious card. He activates his Knight's Title. This card turns a Spellcaster type monster on the field into a Warrior type. He turns Yugi's Dark Magician into a Warrior type. Joey uses his Deckmaster's ability to transfer its remaining attack points to a Warrior type monster on the field. He gives Yugi's Dark Magician all but 100. Joey ends his turn. It's Yugi's turn, and the final turn of the duel. He draws and gets a mysterious card. What it is doesn't matter, as he simply enters his battle phase and orders Dark Magician Knight to attack and destroy Berserk Dragon. Though the Big Five still have 400 life points left, since their Deckmaster was destroyed, they instantly lose the duel. Yugi and Joey win. Now, I know I had a tone throughout this duel, but genuinely, I do really enjoy this duel. It's really good, and it's only when you start putting things under a microscope like this, you start to really like nitpick and things. However, I do think that this duel highlights the inconsistencies with people with Deckmasters. They're not utilizing their abilities in this Deckmaster format. I feel like it's a little bit of wasted potential. There's so much more you could do with them. And yeah, some cards were definitely made too powerful. Like I said earlier, if Johnson and Lecter had basically took over this duel and were just a little bit more big-brained and they'd worked together, they could have absolutely clapped this duel. But unfortunately not. They're just businessmen at the end of the day. So yeah, oh well. Guys, if you want to see me have a breakdown, break down more duels, then don't forget to hit subscribe, because I make these every 2 weeks moving into the new year now. So rather than every 3 weeks, you get them every 2 weeks. So enjoy. Check out one of these videos if you fancy, but if not, thank you very much for watching. Catch you later.